Welcome to Tired Mommy Revival. Hey mama, are you running on coffee fumes? Feeling like brain fog, fatigue, and anxiety are running the show? Do you wake up dreading the day ahead, already overwhelmed by the endless to-do list and unsure how you'll make it through? Do you long for the energy to enjoy motherhood and care for yourself, but feel stuck and unsure where to start? Let me remind you of something life-changing. You were created for more energy, more clarity, more joy. Hi, I'm Jerusha, certified holistic wellness coach, wife and mom to 2 wild boys and 1 baby girl in heaven. I know the exhaustion you're feeling because I've been there, barely making it through the day, relying on coffee and chocolate to survive, and wondering why nothing I tried ever made me feel better. Then, God stepped in and revealed a powerful truth. A woman's body is beautifully and uniquely designed to thrive. When we align with how God created us, we can boost our energy, bust through fatigue, and step into the vibrant, joy-filled life He has for us. Mama, I'm living proof that it's possible. These days, I wake up refreshed, nourish my body with intention, and navigate the chaos of motherhood with patience and peace. Most days. And I want to help you do the same. If you're ready to swap exhaustion for energy, brain fog for clarity, and guilt for grace, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll dive into practical strategies, faith-filled truths, and empowering tools to renew your health, body, soul, and spirit. Are you ready for this? Let's do it, mama. For years, I carried around a water bottle with me everywhere I went to make sure that I always had access to water and that I was drinking water regularly. I thought I was doing a really great job stewarding my health this way. However, I still suffered from frequent headaches, brain fog, fatigue, trouble focusing, and sugar cravings. I looked at all different kinds of solutions, but I never once considered that I was secretly dehydrated. Do you ever feel like no matter how much water you drink, you're still exhausted? Maybe you're even waking up feeling drained before your day even starts. What if I told you that water alone isn't enough to truly hydrate your body and give you energy? In today's episode, we're diving into why electrolytes are the secret weapon for energy, how everyday life depletes them, and simple ways to replenish them naturally. No artificial sports drinks needed. I am so excited to talk about this topic today because it's simple. It's so simple. And sometimes the small things are the powerful things that move us forward in really big ways. And let's be honest, sometimes we don't have the time or the energy to throw into a total life overhaul. We're not ready for the goal that says eat 15 different vegetables in a week. It sounds overwhelming and completely undoable, but little things like this that move the needle are so valuable and they're so impactful when you're first beginning your journey. When you're trying to move away from fatigue and exhaustion and brain fog, and you just need something really small and tangible that you can do on a daily basis, this is going to be a catalyst for change. And it's going to be so simple and so doable. The common energy mistake that we can make in our health journey is believing that we just need to drink more water. Drinking water is super important, but the problem is that many moms force themselves to drink a bunch of water thinking it will fix their exhaustion and brain fog and headaches. But drinking only water without electrolytes can dilute essential minerals and lead to an imbalance, ultimately making you feel more tired, not less. The problem is 1, overhydration. Drinking too much water can flush out the minerals like sodium and potassium that we desperately need in our body. Number 2, we're not absorbing water properly. Without electrolytes, your body doesn't retain and use water effectively. We're going to be talking about this coming up, how your cells can literally be dehydrated even though you're technically drinking enough water. Some signs that you might be imbalanced in your electrolytes are fatigue, dizziness, muscle cramps, brain fog, going to the bathroom frequently, and even sugar cravings. Have you ever just felt like really thirsty and tired after drinking a ton of water? That's because your body's not absorbing it properly. We need the right balance of minerals to truly hydrate our cells. So let's talk about what electrolytes are and why we so desperately need them as tired moms. Okay, so what are electrolytes? Simply put, electrolytes are minerals that carry an electrical charge when dissolved in liquid. So they are essential minerals that we need for hundreds of different functions in the body, including fluid balance, nerve signaling, and energy production. Okay, those are huge, you guys. Your brain fog, your energy, these are completely dependent upon electrolyte balance in your body. So just a couple key ones. I'm not going to go into this in detail, but we're going to cover the basis of it. We have sodium, which helps balance fluid and support adrenal function, super important for stress. We have potassium, which supports muscle function, hydration, and heart health. Magnesium helps reduce stress, improve sleep, and prevent cramps. Magnesium is at the center of chlorophyll, so think dark leafy greens. All right, next we have calcium, helps muscle contractions and keeps nerves firing. And then we have chloride and phosphorus, which also help with digestion and cell function. This is just touching the surface on what these minerals do in our body. Magnesium alone has over 300 functions in the body. That is just one example of how many functions electrolytes play in your body. They're so critical and so important, especially to your energy production. Electrolytes help generate energy at the cellular level. So without them, your body struggles to function. They also regulate nerve and muscle function. So goodbye restless legs and sluggishness. But they also play a role in hormone balance and stress management, which is huge for exhausted mamas. We're going to talk about how electrolytes boost your energy beyond just hydration. The definition of electrolytes is minerals that carry an electrical charge when dissolved in liquid. As humans, we are electrical beings. We have electrical impulses that work in our body, and they're required for our cells to work, for our brain function to work, for our heart to pump. There's so many ways that our body relies on those minerals to provide an electrical charge to keep things working, like having that light bulb turned on bright and shining all day so that we can operate in clarity and focus and the full energy that we were created to operate in. On a cellular level, our cells require electrolytes to produce energy. Our cells have mitochondria, and the mitochondria are the powerhouses that create energy. Mitochondria rely on electrolytes for their overall health and function. So if they can't get the electrolytes, they can't produce energy. That's just a super basic way to describe what's going on. But the other thing that can happen too is that if we're drinking water, but we're actually low on electrolytes in our body, what can happen is that we can have water in our body, but not in our cells. If our cells are dehydrated, then we're going to feel sluggish and tired. The electrolytes help the water get into our cells. There's something called the sodium-potassium pump. These two minerals work together to open up the cell to receive the water into the cell. Okay, so remember, sodium and potassium are two of our electrolytes. If we don't have those in our body, we can have liquid water in our body, but not in our cells. So electrolytes help hydrate our cells so they can wake up and feel good. And then we also get those electrolytes into the center of the cell, the mitochondria, where they can start using those electrolytes to also produce more energy. Okay, if our cells are sluggish, we feel sluggish. We don't want that to happen. So, on a cellular level, electrolytes are required to produce energy and feel amazing. And ultimately, if we're lacking those, we can experience that sluggishness that shows up in a variety of ways, including our mood, our attention span, our memory, and our motor coordination. Have you ever just had a day where you were already struggling with brain fog? You walk into a room and you can't remember why you're there, and then you're trying to get something out of the cupboard and you're like dropping things and you're thinking, what is my problem? I know I'm tired, but why can't I remember anything? Why can't I hold on to anything? And ultimately, it's your cells crying out saying that they are dehydrated. You may not even feel thirsty, but you will feel that sluggishness on a number of levels if you're not properly hydrated. Two other electrolytes, magnesium and potassium, also play a major role in muscle energy and recovery. So if you're waking up feeling exhausted, you might be missing these. If you listen to the past episode about working out and you've been doing that, but you're feeling so exhausted, yes, there is a period where your body is getting used to that, but also it could be a sign of a lack of electrolytes too, because you're requiring a lot more from your muscles than you used to. And magnesium and potassium, as well as calcium, are going to be really important for effective workouts and recovery afterwards. So again, make sure you're getting your electrolytes so that you can feel amazing throughout your day. Next, I want to talk about another key area of our body that absolutely relies on electrolytes to function well, and that is our brain. Our nervous system is how we send electrical impulses from the brain out to the rest of the body. Those nerve impulses that are being sent out are electrical impulses from the brain that require electrolytes to work properly. And the sodium potassium pump that we talked about earlier that helps hydrate your cells, that also plays a huge role in those nerve impulses as well. So if you're struggling through brain fog, then electrolytes might also be another huge key to helping you clear up your mental capacity and feel so much better. There are a few other ways that you see electrolytes show up in a really big way in your body, and that is digestion, muscle contraction, bone health, and your sleep. Oh my goodness. Magnesium works wonders for your sleep. If you're having a hard time sleeping at night, I really recommend getting a magnesium lotion, putting it on before bed. It'll help relax your muscles and it will help you sleep better too. Electrolytes also play a really huge function in the body regarding hormones. And just one way that that shows up is in your adrenal glands, which regulate stress and energy. And they rely on sodium, potassium, and magnesium to function properly. So you will see your hormones a little out of whack too. This is just one example, but electrolytes play a big role in that as well. Another thing that depletes electrolytes, which your adrenals regulate, is chronic stress. Chronic stress will deplete these minerals, making you feel even more fatigued. So it affects your adrenal glands, which is a hormone center in the body, but it also depletes those minerals that help your adrenals function better too. So you can't just say, oh, well, I can be super stressed out. My body can handle it because I have electrolytes. But if you are really stressed out and fatigued, besides reducing stress, replenishing those minerals in your body is going to help your body recover better as well and just operate with more calm and peace throughout your day too. Okay, so what drains your electrolytes? We just talked about stress, but there's actually a few other things as well. And the number one time that we usually think that we need electrolytes is during the summer when we're outside, it's hot, we're sweating, or if we're playing sports, we immediately think, oh, we need electrolytes. But the truth is that we need electrolytes all the time. Yes, even in the winter, because our body relies on it in a cellular level. But also there's a lot of things that can come in and actually drain these from our body. Some of the common electrolyte drainers for moms is, like we mentioned before, stress. Also, a lack of sleep disrupts our mineral balance and hydration. And number three, oh, this is a big one, caffeine and sugar. Ooh, both of those flush out minerals and lead to dehydration, okay? So caffeine, you think of coffee. If you're drinking coffee all the time and you think that you're fine, let me tell you, it's affecting you in a really big way. You don't have to cut it out completely, but if that is your go-to drink, you need to cut back. It's affecting your mineral levels, your energy levels, your brain function, your hormones, and also your adrenals in a really big way that helps you deal with stress. If you are drinking coffee throughout the day to get through the day, there's a chance that your adrenals are already very stressed out, and that's why you feel so exhausted. But caffeine will actually aggravate that problem even further. The same goes for caffeinated tea. If you drink sweet tea a lot, I know in the South that's very popular, but the other big thing too is soda. A lot of people overlook soda because they don't really remember that it's caffeinated. But if you're drinking a soda beverage all the time, even if it's diet, which honestly, decaffeinated soda is not good for you at all either. But if it's caffeinated, you need to be really careful because that could be causing so many health issues. And the biggest thing that you need to look at is the drink in your hand. So be careful about caffeine and sugar. Ooh, that is a big one for me. I know that when I am stressed, I immediately want to turn to sugar, but honestly, it just makes things worse. Another big thing, which, comes in certain seasons, but it's pregnancy and breastfeeding. And I feel like as women, we are a lot more aware of that happening in our body. Once we start breastfeeding or even when we're pregnant, we know that we have to get a lot more liquids, but that is a big thing that can deplete us too. Lastly, processed foods. Eating foods that are low in minerals and high in chemicals strip the nutrients out of our body, and it's not replenishing them either. So this might be something that's really easy to overlook because sometimes we don't really think of ourselves as eating overly processed foods. But the problem really comes in when we're not eating really nutrient dense foods. And sometimes as moms, we can actually run into this problem of eating processed foods simply because we don't make an intentional effort to get highly nutrient food into our bodies. And sometimes we can find ourselves kind of snacking on things here and there. Maybe it's, crackers or, something that's kind of just sitting out on the counter. Or maybe we even do this thing where we think we're going to make ourselves lunch, but we make lunch for the kids first and we make them some chicken nuggets and mac and cheese, maybe some fruit, and we kind of just pick at their food. And it's enough to turn off that hunger cue in our body. And then we kind of just power through thinking, well, I have a lot to do. I don't feel hungry anymore. I think I'm good. I'm just going to keep going. But ultimately, one, that drains your energy levels in a number of ways, but also you have to realize you're eating some processed foods. There's a huge lack of nutrients going into your body, and you can actually fall into this a lot easier than you think because you're not getting those minerals into your body. So we need to be careful about the processed foods that we're eating and be really intentional, or at least starting with an awareness of what are we really putting into our body, and is this providing a lot of nutrition, or is it just kind of turning off my hunger cue for the moment? Because not all food is created equal. Okay, so we know the things that strip us of our electrolytes and our ability to produce energy on a cellular level. So how do we get those back in naturally? First, let's talk about the obvious thing that we might be tempted to turn to, which is sports drinks, the conventional options that are the first thing you find on the shelf. The thing is, Gatorade and similar drinks are actually loaded with sugar, artificial colors, and unnecessary additives. They are made to be sweet and attractive and to make you want to drink them. But the thing is that instead of hydrating you, they can actually spike blood sugar and lead to energy crashes. And this happens in a few different ways. First of all, some of those unnecessary additives come in the form of MSG. And this can be really tricky because it's not always labeled as monosodium glutamate on the label, which, to be honest, how many of you actually have picked up a Gatorade bottle and looked at the label? But I can tell you, let's say I do not have one in the house because we don't drink it, but I know I looked at one that a family member had a little while back, and I was able to pick out on the label where it had MSG in it. And the thing is that MSG will spike your blood sugar. I think it's by like 300%. It boosts your insulin in your body. And ultimately, what that's going to do is one, it'll crash your energy levels, but two, it's also going to promote weight gain. This is something that is touted as a healthy product that's benefiting your body, but the truth is that it's doing more damage than harm. And if you drink it once in a blue moon, it's not going to damage your health. But if this is your go-to drink, and if you're drinking it on a daily, regular basis, this is going to do more harm than good. So let's set down the typical sports drinks. Oh, I do want to mention one more thing. There is a really big trend that's going around with sports drinks, a lot of drinks, but in particular with sports drinks, that they are now labeled sugar-free. But the tricky thing about that is that while, yes, they're technically sugar-free, they are made that way with a chemical called sucralose. And sucralose will damage your gut health dramatically. And so, yeah, the sugar isn't affecting us, but now it's harming us in a different way. Okay. So you got to be really careful about that. They're sneaking sucralose into so many different things. If you remember back in the day when we heard about aspartame and they were talking about how bad aspartame was, well, if you take it up a few notches to make it even worse and label it sucralose, that's what they've replaced in our drinks nowadays. And it's so damaging. The research has yet to come out with the full report of how bad this is for your body. So don't be tricked by thinking just because it says sugar-free that it's now awesome for you. There's much better ways to get electrolytes into your body. And I'm going to tell you some natural, easy, cost-effective ways that you can do this on a regular basis. A simple electrolyte drink mix that you can do is lemon and sea salt. Okay, lemon and sea salt. If you do that once or twice a day, squeeze some lemon and put a sprinkle of sea salt in your water, mix it up and drink it. There you go. You have electrolytes. Lemon is rich in electrolytes. It doesn't have a lot of sodium, which is why we add some of the sea salt. If you can use sea salt at best, but if you can use a pink salt or Redmond sea salt or something that's really mineral rich, you're going to get even more benefits from that type of salt. I really love to use Redmond sea salt. It comes from an ancient underwater sea in Utah. Here in the US, it's super mineral rich and so good for you. We get that from Thrive Market, but you can get it from a number of places. Just a little bit of salt, squeeze a lemon, drink that, you're good to go. Your water doesn't have to be overly salty, but that by itself will provide electrolytes. You can also drink spring water with some trace minerals, and there are also electrolyte drops and powders. If you're using a supplement, look for one without sugar and artificial additives. There are a lot of electrolyte powders on the shelf. If you turn the box over and look at the label, one of the top, usually the first ingredient, but maybe within even the top 5 ingredients is sugar. Be really careful. If it's sugar-free, look at why. Make sure there's not sucralose in there. Make sure it's a quality alternative sweetener like stevia or even allulose. Make sure that it is a good product. My favorite powder is Ultima, and it can be a little bit spendy. I like to get it on Thrive Market online because when they have a sale, I can get it for by far the cheapest that I can find it anywhere else. You get the bottle, there's 90 servings in there, so it lasts a long time. That's what me and my kids drink. My kids, when they ask for juice, they're asking for Ultima electrolytes because they have lots of fun flavors and they're good. I like Ultima because I also like to drink apple cider vinegar, and it can be really hard to drink by itself. So I like to put the electrolyte mix in water, add some lemon and apple cider vinegar, mix that up and drink it. And it makes it a lot easier to drink the apple cider vinegar too. So again, that is something that you have to pay for. You don't need to, because lemon and sea salt by itself is an amazing electrolyte. Another natural electrolyte that I want to talk about is coconut water. Coconut water is known for being notoriously high, particularly in potassium, but a few different electrolytes, and it is a good source of electrolytes. However, it is also very high in natural sugars. The problem with that is that it can affect your body in a couple of ways. I don't like to drink my carbs. If I don't have to drink my sugar, I definitely won't, because your body responds to natural sugar a lot better when it's partnered with fiber and often antioxidants. Drinking sugar can spike your insulin levels and again cause energy drops and weight gain if you're not careful. If you're drinking coconut water as a treat every once in a while, awesome. It's good for you. It has benefits. It's a wonderful treat. Do it. But don't get up in the morning and drink 16 ounces of coconut water first thing in the morning. It's not good for you. It'll create sugar cravings, weight gain. It'll send your insulin on a roller coaster first thing in the morning. As a holistic wellness coach, I don't recommend coconut water for a regular source of electrolytes, but if you're drinking it as a treat, awesome. Enjoy it. Next, let's talk about some foods that are actually high in natural electrolytes as well. You can get your electrolytes from a drink. It's a really easy way to do it, but you can actually get electrolytes in your body through foods as well, which will help your energy levels and your overall health in a number of ways. So let's talk about some potassium-rich foods. That would be avocados, bananas, sweet potatoes, leafy greens. Again, that coconut water is really high in potassium. We have some magnesium-rich foods with dark chocolate. Yes, not milk chocolate. Make sure what kind of sugar is going in there, but dark chocolate, absolutely. Nuts, seeds, particularly pumpkin seeds are really high in magnesium. They're super easy to sprinkle on a salad or just eat as a little snack because they're crunchy and satisfying. Also, spinach is really high in magnesium as well. We have some calcium-rich foods, our sardines, leafy greens. Again, you cannot go wrong with those leafy greens. So many electrolytes. And also dairy. If you can tolerate dairy, I really like to do milk kefir because it's fermented and creamy and I make it at home. So it tastes so much better than the store-bought ones, and it's really good for your gut health too. And lastly, sodium. We want to make sure we're getting the right kind. Pink Himalayan salt, sea salt, bone broth, or fermented foods are going to be high in sodium. If you're making your own sauerkraut at home, which if you don't like traditional sauerkraut, there's many, many ways you can actually make sauerkraut that tastes so much better or even sweeter than the typical ones, but you do need salt to ferment, so you can get some electrolytes that way as well, beyond all the beneficial bacteria that come with fermented foods and help your gut health. So some really simple meals that can support electrolyte balance would be chia pudding. Chia pudding is so high in electrolytes, plus a ton of fiber and omega-3s. It's good for you in so many different ways. I love to make a lemon and coconut milk chia pudding with a little bit of salt, and if you can put pomegranates on top, it goes so well with the lemon. It gives you an extra boost of potassium as well as those antioxidants. Another good option would be a spinach salad. Add some avocado and some pumpkin seeds for that crunchiness on top, and you will be good to go. Lastly, this is kind of an interesting meal. You may not have thought of this, but let me tell you, I've tried it and it is delicious. That is sweet potato with some sliced banana, raspberries, and almond butter. It is creamy, it is sweet, it goes together so well, and it is so tasty. It can be a good breakfast option if you're looking for something with a little bit more carbs, but it could also be like a really great evening dessert too. Really great natural sweetness there. Lots of great ways to get electrolytes into your body and promote your energy levels, mama. It does not have to be complicated. These are simple meals that do not require a lot of prep or effort, but they can be so tasty and enjoyable. Let's talk about a couple ways we can hydrate and get those electrolytes back into our body as busy moms. First of all, create a morning ritual. Drink mineral water or lemon water with a pinch of sea salt right before you drink your coffee. Or if you're like me and you're like, nope, coffee first, it's just happening. It's only coffee first. Then when you finish your cup of coffee, then go and get your electrolytes and get those in your body. As a midday recharge, instead of snacking on your kids' lunch, go ahead and make yourself a meal. Get some potassium-rich foods like avocado or sweet potato, or just make a really quick salad. It's not even cooking. It's just assembling some ingredients together. Next, if you find yourself throughout the day, whether it's a post-workout or maybe just kind of a stressful part of your day, then make a point to go get some electrolytes and replenish those minerals back into your body. Give your body some love and it'll pay off threefold in your energy levels too. Lastly, before bed, make sure that you're getting magnesium-rich foods or a magnesium supplement to help with sleep. It's so nice to put on before bed. It helps your muscles, it helps your sleep, it helps you relax, and it's so good for you. All right, so as mamas, it is so normal to feel drained and exhausted, and sometimes we don't realize that something as simple as replenishing our electrolytes could make a huge difference in our body. Everything from our brain function, our cells, our energies, our hormones could all be improved by a simple, small habit in our day-to-day life. I want to challenge you, try adding one simple habit this week. Maybe you just start your morning with electrolytes, a little bit of lemon and salt, or maybe you're going to start meal prepping a small lunch that'll be really impactful and give you some more nutrition midday. But whatever you do, just know that small shifts add up. You don't have to completely overhaul your life or feel stressed out to do things that are good for you, and be encouraged that you can start small and make a really big, powerful impact in your energy, your focus, and even your joy day to day. Be encouraged, mama. Go out and do something good for yourself today. Mama, I hope this episode blessed you and reminded you that you were beautifully and uniquely made to thrive. If today's conversation spoke to your heart, I'd love for you to take a moment to leave a rating and review. Not only does it encourage me, but it helps more tired mamas discover the hope, healing, and energy they've been searching for. You're not in this alone. Make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Together, we'll reclaim your energy, renew your health, and revive your spirit, one step at a time. Until next time, remember, you are beautifully designed by God to live with energy, clarity, and joy. You're not just surviving, mama. You're stepping into the vibrant life you were created for. I'm cheering you on.